Nairobi, Kenya is Daniel Akech, who's a senior analyst of South Sudan at the International Crisis Group. Welcome to the program, Daniel. Does it make a difference that President Salva Kiir is a Dinka and Vice President Machar is from the Noya ethnic group? Because why is Machar in house arrest?
It doesn't make much of a difference. The problem is personalized between the two leaders, which their rivalry has placed South Sudan in a very dangerous situation at the moment. The confluence of crisis includes internal arrests, which involve the rivalry between the president and the vice presidents, and there's also the country is facing fiscal collapse, and there is escalating internal violence as well as the spillover from the ongoing war in Sudan. So all these crises they have come together, and they are threatening the survival of the country. So the issue is not just the rivalry between the two, but that's part of it. It's a much larger problem that has been brewing in the for more than a decade now.
You talked about the conflict in Sudan. How much is that affecting the instability in South Sudan? Certainly, the head of the military in Sudan, General Burhan, says that President Salva Kiir supports the Rapid Support Forces, the renegade paramilitary.
There are three ways in which the conflicts in Sudan is affecting South Sudan. More than 1 million refugees had been pushed into South Sudan, into a very fragile environment. And then there is also, on the both sides of the conflicts in Sudan, there are South Sudanese fighting there as low-grade mercenaries. So there is sort of like a spillover of insecurity across the border. And then largely, South Sudan depends on Sudan for exporting oils to the world market. And because of that conflict in Sudan, South Sudan has lost 70% of its oil revenues due to the ongoing conflicts in Sudan.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because you talked about fiscal collapse, and there's hardly a nation in the world, as you know, Daniel, that relies so much on its oil exports. So economically, what's happening to the people while the instability continues?
The humanitarian cost is massive. South Sudan has 9.3 million people that are in dire need of assistance, and 7.7 million people are facing acute food insecurity. So displacement is massive and has been exacerbated by also the climate shocks. There are recurrent floodings in areas that are most affected along the border between South Sudan and Sudan. So the scales of suffering is massive, and the country is not ready to face these emergencies to address them. So that is part of the impacts of the ongoing war in Sudan, where these displaced people are moving into a country that is not ready to give them services.
If you were to be as simple as possible, Daniel, do you see the resolution as being something reachable or something that is almost impossible because of the characters who have to make the decisions?
The two conflicts are connected. The one in Sudan, you cannot really resolve the conflict in South Sudan without resolving the conflicts in Sudan. So there is a need for sort of like a broader approach that looks at both Sudans as sort of like conjoined twins that needs to be rescued. So there is always a hope if the Sudanese and South Sudanese come together and have agency in resolving the conflicts. That is what I think where hopes could come from.
Daniel Akech, really appreciate the analysis.
Thank you for having me.